What's going on? KAG here, and today we're going to be doing a Nintendo Switch News Roundup video. In this way, we're going to be able to cover a few topics without having to do a separate topic on everything that's happened this week. So without any further ado, let's hop into this video. Now, first up, we have the fact that the Nintendo Switch is going to be released in about 30 days. That's pretty crazy, y'all. I mean, I know I'm excited. I know y'all are excited. And you know, for those of you who did not pre-order it, you should be excited as well, because Nintendo has stated that they are actually putting more Switches out there on the market. So there's still a possibility that you'll be able to find one. And for those of you who didn't know, if you go to Walmart, you'll probably be able to pick one up there, because that's going to be your best case scenario, because more than likely they'll probably have some that are there for the actual launch day that are outside of the ones that were already pre-ordered. Now, moving on from there, we have Mr. Kimishima talking about the online service and how it will be anywhere between about $17 and $26, which, I mean, you can't be mad at that. That's a really good price. As far as the price goes, it's like half of what the other people are doing, so you can't really complain there. And we also heard a little bit about their online service, which I think happens to be pretty cool, and that is the fact that you could actually, from your phone, actually send out a link to somebody and they can join your game directly from that link. So let's say, for example, I was on Twitter and I said, hey you guys, y'all want to play some Splatoon? Click the link. The first 8 of y'all that go ahead and click the link are in, or whatever. You can do it that way with the Switch, so can't be mad at that. It looks like they are going in the correct direction. They even said to the fact that when you're online, right, and you're playing a game such as Splatoon, when you're in the lobby, you can actually go ahead and you can communicate with everybody that's there. But when you actually go into the actual game, the only people you're really communicating with is your own people. But that kind of makes sense in a game of strategy. If you're strategizing, would you really want your competition to hear exactly what y'all planning on doing while you're playing the game? Now, we don't know if this actually happens for all the games and that they all use this exact same format where it's online and you only play with your friends. But for the most part, I think it's going in the right direction. But we're gonna be in that beta phase for the first 6 months of the Switch, so we'll be able to go ahead and give our opinions to Nintendo, and then maybe if we make a strong enough opinion point on certain matters, then maybe they will change them. So if you're a Switch beginner, if you're one of the originators, one of the people that are early adopter of the Switch, then be sure to give your opinion on their online service. That way they can improve it as we go along. But if y'all don't know, Nvidia and DNA are both working on this online service for the Switch, so it should be pretty good. Moving on from there, we also have the fact that Mr. Kimishima said that he expects the Switch to possibly sell as much as the Wii. Now, a lot of people are like, whoa, that's a huge number. I don't think it's possible. But actually, with the way that they've been actually marketing this device, and the fact that they could possibly sell multiple devices to each household, could mean that they could technically sell just as many as the Wii. If we take a look at the Nintendo DS, which was a new product at the time that was on the market, we've seen where it actually made some huge sales. Granted, 3DS didn't sell as many, but then again, 3DS was very similar to the DS. And after we done had DS, DSi, DSi XL, DS Lite, and then you have the 3DS, and then the 3DS XL. A lot of people, may be like, oh, okay, well, this is just another version of DS, but the Switch is a completely new device. It's completely new. There's a possibility that it gets adopted as well as handhelds do. And on top of that, because if the Switch has different, designs let's say they have a Mario or a Pikachu or, you know, all these different Splatoon version, a lot of these switches could ended up getting picked up. So you could have a possibility where one person could possibly own maybe 3 different versions. I know for me, in my 3DS, I had the 3DS, I had the 3DS XL when it came out, and then I had the new 3DS XL. So there's a possibility that, you know, it will sell just as high as the Wii, if not possibly even higher, especially with the marketing that they're doing. And also we have a Super Bowl commercial that came out that also looks amazing, and then we have the longer cut version, which will probably be a commercial that is shown during the regular day, like that's not gonna be a part of the Super Bowl, because, you know, when you're working with a Super Bowl commercial, 30 seconds equals $5 million, and for them to take like a minute 30-second video and put that up there ends up being about $15 million or a little bit more, because it's like a minute 43 seconds. So yeah, so as far as it being successful as the Wii, it is definitely a possibility. And then we also had an interview with Mr. Kimishima where they were saying that they could possibly be a successor to the 3DS. Now, in my opinion, will there be one? No, there won't be one, and I'll tell you exactly why there won't be one. Now, yes, there will probably be a portable version of a Switch, right? I could see a Switch Mini coming to the market that would be a little bit smaller, that's more pocket friendly, because if you all don't know, you know, you can't really fit the Switch in your pocket. Granted, yes, maybe if you took off the Joy-Cons you probably could, but for the most part, it's more like a tablet, right? It's kind of like a tablet, and you don't really fit a tablet in your pocket, even though you may take it with you. But I could see them going the way of actually doing a Switch Mini, and that way you'll still be playing the same games as you would on the regular Switch, except it'll just be smaller. You'll have maybe a smaller screen. Maybe they won't make the screen smaller and they'll just make the bezel smaller. You know, there's that possibility too. Or maybe the Joy-Cons don't detach, but I would think that would kind of lose some capabilities with the actual Switch. So I don't think that they would actually, you know, shrink down any. But, you know, they may have it so that instead of being able to dock it, maybe you just use a HDMI dongle that plugs into the back of your TV, and that's how you're able to play your games on your TV and do it that way. Or maybe you can't play them on the TV at all, and it still has the kickstand. Who knows, but I think what they'll do is they'll probably have a Switch Mini with different color variations like they normally do with their handheld lines, and that will be your successor to the 3DS. I don't see them going the way of dual screens again. I think that's pretty much done. But you know, you still got your touchscreen. But anyways, that's pretty much it for today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, and as always, don't forget to subscribe, because we talk about all things Nintendo here. And yeah, I'm out of here. Peace.